Now, let's finally create our theme toggle. We can do that by creating a new component in Components Navigation Navbar, and let's call it theme.tsx. Run RAFCE, import it right here. That's going to be a self-closing theme component coming from /theme, and then you can start implementing it. For creating this entire theme picker, we'll be referring to Shadcn's documentation, because I want to teach you not just how to follow along with me, but also how to read documentation and implement things that it tells you to do. You'll notice that a lot of things you'll be able to reuse from the docs, but some things you'll have to change to make them accommodate your specific application. In this case, we'll be referring to docs Next.js dark mode. So if you search for dark mode and click Next.js, you'll be redirected to this documentation page. We have already done step 1, 2, 3, but now we have to focus on step 4, which is placing a mode toggle on your site to toggle between the light and the dark mode. So let's just copy this part right here and paste it right here in our theme. You'll immediately notice that this breaks our application, but let's fix it step by step. First, let's define this as const theme, as we have initially defined it, is equal to a functional component that we can then export to default at the bottom. So export default theme. Next, we need to install a button component. So let's go to our terminal, and you know the drill. npx shadcn add latest add button. It'll immediately install it, and you can see that it works. It successfully changes the theme. You can now change the theme in just a single button click, from light to dark to system. And the changes you apply here will automatically be reflected throughout all of our other pages and components. How cool is that? Do you need to understand how this code works? Sure, and it's fairly straightforward. We use the use theme from Next Themes, and then we use a Shadcn dropdown that basically changes that setting based on whatever we choose. We then import it into our navigation bar, and just like that, the changes are reflected in our layout, and with the layout, they're reflected in all the other pages because we're wrapping them with the theme provider. And with that, you have successfully implemented the navigation bar, as well as the Next Themes to modify the themes, and then you learn how to install Shadcn components, and specifically, we installed the button component and the dropdown component to make our theme settings work. Great job. I was about to say that this is starting to look like the finished application, but we're not at that point yet. We just have the navbar. But I think you can already start seeing how all of these different pieces are coming together. We have the layout, which controls all the pages. We have the home page here, the components folder, the UI that contains the Shadcn specific components, and then our components right here. Since we made a couple of changes for this entire module, now might be a good situation to push them. In this case, we have set up the light and dark theme. So we can say set up light and dark theme, Shadcn, and navbar. I'll commit it, sync it,